Day 71. It's maybe 8:30. We got up, ate breakfast. Got to the post office. They opened at 8. So all three of us sent home some stuff. Gandalf and Dr. Tom sent home their ice axes. I sent home micro spikes, some other miscellaneous stuff. Head back to the hotel. We'll check out, finish packing, check out, and catch a trolley, hit the trail. Hopefully we'll be on the trail, I don't know, 9:30 or 10. We got to take the trolley up to the bus, take the bus to the trailhead, and then get going. So see how far we get. We did say goodbye, hopefully for now, to Blackout. He's catching a bus to Reno, where he's going to catch a plane and go to a wedding. Hopefully we'll see him in a week or two. But for now, it'll be the three of us. So we'll see him down the trail. Okay, so right on track. We finished up our post office stuff, checked out the hotel, caught the trolley up to the village here. You see they're building, I don't know, more condos or something up here. So now we're waiting in line for the bus to take us up to Horseshoe Lake. We can get back on the trail. Should be here in about 15 minutes. So we'll catch the first bus, 9 o'clock. Hopefully be on the trail by, I don't know, 9:20, probably 9:30. And then I think the plan is to hike about 7 miles up the trail and catch some lunch at Red's Meadow. And then we go north for like another 120 miles. So we got a ton of food. Backpacks are heavy. But that's the way it is. So we'll see him down the trail. Not bad. Got here at 9:30. Got off the trolley and went down. Back up to Snow Gap Mountains. We'll try and make Red's Meadow by, I don't know, noon, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. Grab some lunch and continue down the trail. After 4.3 miles from the bus left us off, this is now back on the PCT, so we can do some real miles. So that's 4.5. We're, say they're fake miles, but with a heavy pack, we got to work just as hard. So we got a couple miles to Red's, and then we'll grab some lunch. See you down the trail. Okay, I think we're getting kind of close to Red's Meadow. When I hiked this with Sandra, Mark, and Karen 15 years ago on the JMT, this whole area just had a massive fire the year or two before. So it was just all black ash, and then all these burned out trees. So now most of those burned out trees, they've snapped off, and as you can see all the bushes, you're getting some good pine trees here growing back 15 years later. It's just nice to see the whole cycle back then and then now. Another beautiful day up in the Sierras. Walking into Red's Meadow. Got the general store. I think the restaurant's in there. Oh, restaurant's over here. Then a bunch of little cabins. So they've cleaned this place up a little bit. It's a little bit run down. You might remember 15 years ago. But this looks pretty nice now. See how lunch is. See how PCT hikers up here. Okay, about half, 3/4 mile from Red's Meadow is Rainbow Falls. So there's the falls. And there's your rainbow. Here's the real beginning of Devil's Postpile. You can see the salt columns of hexagonal columns of lava formed a long time ago. Up at top, they're standing straight up. Below that is where they've all fallen. Pretty cool formations. Here where they've, off to the left, they've kind of curved as they've cooled. They still have that hexagonal shape. It's just a curved hexagonal shape. Okay, what do you think of this trail? So, middle fork of the San Joaquin River. Pretty sure that's the same one you saw going over Rainbow Falls. Just at the edge of Devil's Postpile, there's another bridge outage there. So, you can take your chances and ford it. Supposedly there's a log about 1/10 of a mile up that you can cross. But PCTA recommends doing this roadwalk detour. So that's what we're doing. Figured that was the safest option. Especially these packs are so darn heavy with 8 days of food, a couple of years of water. This is kind of a sure thing where fording or the log walk with heavy packs, just taking on more risk. So we're doing the road walk, and it's starting to rain a little bit. Got some thunder, getting a few sprinkles. Hopefully it doesn't turn real bad, but not too bad now. At least it's not as hot as it used to be. Anyway, we got about 2.5 mile road walk. Probably got 2 miles to go. See you down the trail. So there's the bridge that is gone. So that'd be pretty hard to get across that without falling in. And it's pretty swift water to ford. So the road walk was worth it. Maybe there's a log up there, maybe not. But in the rain, I think the road walk was the right call. This thing's moving pretty fast. End of day 71, and as you can see, the mosquitoes are out in force. We're at Meadows campground, which is closed, but there's probably 20, 25 PCT hikers here that hiked in. Overall, good day. Everything went smooth this morning with the post office and catching the bus and then the trolley and getting up the trailhead. We're on the trail by 9:30, but we had heavy packs. Luckily I sent my micro spikes home. Everything else, my beer canister was full. I had an overflow bag that was full. Luckily they got a beer box here at Meadows. I'm carrying a ton of food. Some of it was intentional, just because I need to eat more calories. So I'm bringing more snacks and just force feeding myself. Some of it was just, I don't know, the way I shot. Anyway, got a ton of food, a heavy pack. So it was a little bit slow going, but we still did, I think, right around 15 miles, give or take. We made it to Meadow for lunch, had a good burger and some fruit. What else? Gandalf got a milkshake. Real good lunch. Right after that, we went down, took a little side trip down to Rainbow Falls. That was about 3/4 of a mile off trail. But beautiful falls, 100-foot waterfall, real picturesque, and you could see the rainbow in the mist. Good little side trip there. And as we're coming up, we kind of took one of the blue blazes that paralleled the PCT and saw Devil's Postpile. So that was kind of cool. And we continued down there because of the bridge outage on the San Joaquin River. So we kind of shortcutted the road walk by going through Devil's Postpile. And I think we did about 2.5 miles on the road instead of like 5 miles on the road. So that was good. And yeah, that bridge was toast. And it would have been kind of sketchy fording it, and it was starting to rain, so I don't know if a log crossing would have been good or not. So all in all, it all worked out good. We kind of pushed ourselves a little bit, kind of pulled in Donohue Meadows, maybe 6:30 or 7. Had a late dinner, but you know, as you can see, there's plenty of light out. But I'm tired, just not so much the miles, just the heavy pack. So just one more reason to start eating more, lighten that pack. I guess that's about it. We'll see. I haven't really looked ahead for tomorrow. We'll probably try and do, I think we're going to try and do like 17 miles a day through this section. Try and get to Kenny Meadows North, which is near Sonora Pass. Try and do that in like 7 to 8 days. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to dab my tent just because mosquitoes are swarming. So I need to get some relief here. We'll see you tomorrow. Here's the campsite that we're, it's kind of the entrance to Donohue Meadows. But it's nice because they got trash, so we can get rid of our trash. I haven't been in there yet, but it looks like the outhouse is open, so that's nice. They got bear box there for the overflow food. For some reason, everyone's putting their bear canister inside. I mean, some people are putting it on top, but a lot of people are putting it inside, which just hogs up all the room. So I don't really get that, but whatever. And then, let's see, a bunch of campers. I got a couple off to the right. You can see our 3 tents here because Black Cat's not with us, and everyone else. So I'm going to turn in, at least dive in my tent, get some protection from the skeeters. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, good morning. It's about 6 o'clock. We're getting ready to head out 6:30. I'm all packed up. So hopefully we'll get out a little bit earlier. Because everything's moist and damp. Skis are out. So it's always good to get moving. It's surprisingly slept pretty good. There's so many people in the camp. Everyone's pretty quiet. Call it hiker's midnight when you know, everyone's, you know, in, well, between the mosquitoes and everyone trying to get out here early, you know, people are in their tents between 7 and 7:30. Everyone is basically asleep by 9 o'clock. Hiker's midnight. So had a good night's sleep. Is actually real quiet. Should be a good day today. Sky's pretty clear. A couple clouds, but sky's pretty clear. Hopefully we won't get any rain. And we'll see if we make it up to Donohue Pass or not. We'll definitely do Island Pass, but I think Donohue Pass is probably within reach too. So we'll see how the day goes and check in with you later. Morning clouds. Head up switchback. Just a gorgeous morning. Nice little ridge line. Okay, still on the way up to Island Pass. Probably, I don't know, 2 miles from Island Pass. Now you're looking at Thousand Island Lake, I believe. It's a gorgeous panorama. Okay, just finished having lunch and a rest as we got over Island Pass, which is the first. It's a smaller pass for the day. We got about another 5 miles to go for Donohue Pass, which is the major pass. I think Donohue Pass is the last major pass of the Sierras in this section. So that'll be a milestone. A nice little break, but the trail's a little bit tricky coming down. A lot of rocks and roots. That last section, it was just basically a stream, all the runoff. It's going right down the middle of the trail, so you really have to watch your footing. Everything's wet and muddy. But it's better than snow. We've only had 3 or 4 snow patches. They haven't been that long. So, way down here looks pretty good. See down the trail. Okay, this is the portion I had problems with. I got my pole stuck right in the middle. It took a lot of energy on me, and I fell coming out. So, I'm pretty wet, my pack's wet, but my phone stayed dry. Okay, when I went across my pole, we're in the deepest part. My pole got stuck. Spent a few minutes trying to get the pole out, just sapped the energy out of me. Finally, I had to yank so hard it pulled the whole tip off the pole and the basket. And I didn't have any energy, so as I was getting towards the shallow part, I slipped and fell in. Luckily, I caught it with my hands, so only the bottom part of my back got wet. Could have been a lot worse. Fortunately, I saved the tips when we replaced them, because both me and Gandalf still had one good tip. So I saved each of those. So now I have a tip, but no basket. I was able to replace it. So at least I can still use my pole. I'll just have to go basketless till I can pick up a new one. Here's another set coming across now. This guy's going across with no shoes. I wouldn't recommend that. This current is so strong. It's going to be rough. Finally, at the top of Donohue Pass. This one is really tough for me. Ton of rocks, ton of water, ton of crossings. Including one kind of major one that I fell in. And lost the tip of my pole in. But we're at the top. Now it's downhill and find the campsite. Okay, so here's our campsite. A couple miles down from Donohue Pass. We're probably 2 miles north of Donohue Pass, maybe 2.5. Had to do a couple river crossings on the way down, but we do have a beautiful campsite here, even if it is mosquito infested. And luckily it didn't rain on us, so I'll show you our tents here in a second. So there's my tent, there's Dr. Tom's tent, and Gandalf's is probably about 500 feet past those trees down a little bit. We got in here a little late, so most of the prime camping spots were taken, but we found these off kind of on the side, but there were kind of 2 up on the ledge and 1 down below. So we're spread out a little bit, but we all got campsites. Close out for day 72. This was a tough day. We ended up doing 16.3 miles. We did 2 passes. Went up and over Island Pass, which was kind of unremarkable. It wasn't a significant pass. But then we went down and then back up and over Donohue Pass, which is a significant pass. That's kind of what you see kind of there in the background there is Donohue Pass. So we went up and over that and came down that today. So that made it a pretty tough day. I mean, the 16.3 miles isn't all that much. We were hoping to average like 17 through this stretch, so it's a little bit shy of that. But from where we camped last night, doing those 2 passes, we did almost 5,000 feet of elevation gain. All of it like 8,700 to a little over 11,000. So high altitude and a lot of gain. And the trail wasn't easy. The trail was all rocks. There's probably 90% rocks and 10% dirt. A few percent snow. We didn't have a lot of snow, but we probably crossed 4 or 5, maybe say half a dozen snow patches. They weren't really long, but still slows you down. And then on the way up to Donohue, there are a lot of river crossings. Our feet were wet this morning from some river crossings, but we were in water all the way from like Island Pass. You know, when we had like a mile and a half down from Island Pass. So when you hit the bottom, all the way up to Donohue Pass, we're just constantly in water. So I was shocked at how much water there was. And there's just streaming down the trail. So you're trying to walk on the trail, but it's like basically a creek bed. So sometimes you go off to the side, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just go right through the water. It's not water, it's mud. And if it's not water and mud, it's tough rocks to go over. So it's just real exhausting. Then there were a number of creek crossings and river fordings that you had to do. I took some video of one. One was real nasty. It was probably the second hardest overall that we've been through. It got waist deep. I got in trouble right in the middle where it was waist deep. You know, this is the end of the day, so I'm already tired. We're doing the river crossing. It's waist deep. It's moving pretty fast. Not as fast as the one a week ago, but probably the second fastest that we've been in, the second fastest current. And so I'm fighting the current, facing upstream, trying to maintain 3 points contact, and one of my trekking poles gets stuck. So I'm sitting there, you know, in the deepest part of the stream with the water moving the fastest, and I can't move because my trekking pole is stuck. So I'm working that thing for probably 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm just getting exhausted, fighting the current, fighting the trekking pole. Finally, I just use both hands, and you know I have to let go of, you know, to take my one trekking pole out. So now I only have my 2 feet, and I yank as hard as I can, and I get the trekking pole loose, but I lose the tip and the basket. But at least I got it loose, and I can move. So then I work my way out of the deep part, go to the shallow part, and I fall in the stream. So luckily I caught myself with my hand, so you know I was already wet up to my waist. My arms up to my elbows got wet. So luckily I saved my pack, did not get wet. My phone didn't get wet or anything like that. But it was pretty nasty. So that just completely wore me out, kind of put me in a bad mood. And we still had, you know, I think 2 miles to go to get up to Donohue Pass and then back over it. So I was not a happy camper later this afternoon. I was just spent. And then had some words with the group, just because, you know, we didn't agree on a camp spot, and they just kept going down, 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 and you know, I was exhausted. So I wanted to find a camp spot and rest up. So we finally got that resolved and got a camp spot here about 2 miles over the pass. But we had a number of stream crossings, probably 4 of them, maybe 5, just on this side of the pass. So this was a pretty exhausting day, even though we only did 16.5 miles. Just the terrain and the stream crossings and the conditions just made it really hard. I'm gonna jump in the sack and get some sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow. One more concern I have is my shoes. I ordered new shoes and had them sent to Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe, but you can see the micro spikes do a number on them. The soles are good, you know, and I'm not feeling any rocks, so the padding's good, but this hole's getting bigger. I had a small hole on each side from the micro spikes, and I had that in my first pair, and they never got any bigger until I switched them out. But here, it wasn't bad in In Mammoth, I'm just looking today, this one's getting pretty big, and this one's getting real big. So we're just 2 days out of Mammoth. We got probably 5 days to go to get to South Lake Tahoe, and then I gotta look at the mileage, probably 4 or 5 to get to South Lake Tahoe. So these things got to hold up for another 9 days, probably 150 miles, and these holes are getting bigger. Gandalf's got the same issue. So I'm gonna be keeping an eye on them, but today they just really opened up. I just had 2 small holes, and today with all the rocks that we were on and the terrain and river crossings, these things split. I'm not going to be in position to get new shoes for probably about 9 days. So hopefully, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, my shoes don't fall apart before I get to South Lake Tahoe. We'll keep you posted.